Hello, everyone. I hope that you are having an awesome day. Today, I want to talk to you on how to get a pay raise on your job without asking the boss. I'm sure that's a topic that many people would love to hear because everyone's looking to get a pay raise sometime or another if you're still working a 9 to 5. So again, today I want to talk to you in reference to how to get a pay raise on your job without asking the boss. One of the things I want you to do, if you can, I know you hardly can see this form, so I'm going to have to do a lot of reading, but if you go to irs.gov, click on the W-4, you can kind of follow along with me as I go over this form. So I know, again, you cannot see this form. It's impossible to see. The letters are small, but if you are by your computer, go to irs.gov, and I want you to follow along with me. I am going to read it, but I would love for you to follow along with me so that you can correctly fill out your W-4 so that you can turn it into your human resources immediately to help you get that pay raise. So I'm going to give it a couple seconds for you all to grab a copy of the W-4. So again, I will be teaching you how to get a pay raise without asking the boss. How to get a pay raise without asking the boss. And again, this is the W-4 form. This is the form that you filled out when you first started your job. Many people do not know how to fill it out correctly. In fact, a lot of times when you go to your human resource office, they don't even know how to fill it out correctly. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make when filling out this W-4 form is they assume that the form is asking for dependents, but it's really asking for allowances. Let me repeat that. The biggest mistake that people do when they fill out this form is they assume that the form is asking for dependents, but it's really asking for allowances. And there's a difference between the two. A dependent is actually someone that actually has a social security number tied to them. Again, a dependent is someone that actually has a social security number tied to them. Allowance is a tax credit that you get that the government allows you to have. And I'm going to go over this form line by line. So if you have a copy of the form, be sure to grab it. If not, when I put the recording up, make sure you grab a copy of it so that you can follow along and adjust your W-4 properly. Again, if you do not have a copy of the W-4, you can simply go to www.irs.gov. www.irs.gov. Off to the left hand side, just click on W-4. A copy of it come up. You can print it, so you don't have to wait till you get to human resources tomorrow to get a copy. You can pull up a copy right now. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. One of the first things we do in my econ is we help you get a pay raise on your job without asking your boss. Now, this first step is powerful because unlike most home-based businesses, the only way you're going to see some type of income come in, you actually have to move a product or you may have to bring somebody in business. But this first step that we do in my econ, we simply show you how to fill this form out, and we've seen people pick up an extra 100 to 800 or more extra in their paycheck without owing at the end of the year. So why is it important to properly adjust this W-4? Well, when you have this form filled out wrong, you're giving the government an interest-free loan on your money. And by doing so, the government's taking your hard-earned money that you work hard for, that you sit in traffic for, that you deal with nasty coworkers for. They take that hard-earned money, they go out and invest it, and they make thousands of dollars off of your hard-earned money. Well, you get satisfied about a refund that simply you could have gotten throughout the year instead of waiting to the end of the year. Here's another reason you want to get your money now instead of later. What most people do is they look forward to that refund because they say, well, I'm going to go ahead and pay that debt that I have off. I have a credit card loan of $1,500. When I get my refund, I'll just go ahead and pay that $1,500 off. Well, here's the problem. From January to December, your credit card is accumulating interest. So by the time December hit, that $1,500 bill may have grown, depending on the interest, up to $1,700 or $1,800. So now, the truth of the matter is you lost money, not gained money, because now if you was going to pay that bill off, at first you was going to pay $1,500, but now you got to end up paying $1,800, so you lost more of your refund because you paid more on a bill that you could have paid off sooner if you got your money now instead of later. Now, most people think that they can fill this form out in only one time a year, but you can fill this form out multiple times a year. So let me read the top of the form. Again, I know you can't see the form, but when you get back and look at the recording, you can make sure you grab a copy of the W-4 so that you can see that whatever I'm saying is the truth. So the top of the form, there's something called the purpose off the top to the left. And the purpose says, complete form W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. Consider completing a new form W-4 each year and when your personal or financial situation changes. So what does that mean? That means if you get married, you get a divorce, you have children, you buy a house, you start a business, all these things meant that your financial or situation changed. So that means you can go to your human resource office and adjust your form properly. Now, that's really important because many people have been working for the government, working for as a contractor for years, only touched their form one time, and they either got married, divorced, had children, started a business, bought a house, and never went back into their human resources to change or adjust the form. So I just proved to you that this form is telling you that you need to adjust it whenever your personal or financial situation changes. Another point that I want to point out, this form, when you go back and look at the video, in the middle it says personal allowance worksheet. It didn't say personal dependent worksheet, it said personal allowance worksheet. So this form is asking for allowances, not just dependents. So don't go into your human resource office and assume that this form is asking for the number of people that's living in your home. And please don't go into your human resource office and put 0 on your W-4. I'm telling you, you're giving an interest-free loan of your money and it's hurting you more than it's helping you. So let's go ahead and go line by line on this form so that we can find out how we can get you that pay raise immediately on your job. So letter A says enter 1 for yourself if no one else can claim you as a dependent. Automatically, everyone listening to this video should have 1 on letter A. That's automatic. It says enter 1 for yourself. So automatically, you should have 1 for letter A. Letter B, it says enter 1 if you are single and have 1 job. You are married, have only 1 job, and your spouse does not work. Or your wages from a second job or spouse's wages or the total of both are $1,500 or less. So if any of these things fit your category, you will put 1 for letter B. Letter C, enter 1 for your spouse. So anyone that's on this video right now, if you're married, you should have 1 beside letter C. If you are married, you should have 1 on letter C. Let's go to letter D. This is the line that's asking for dependents. It says, enter number of dependents other than your spouse or yourself you will claim on your tax return. Let me again explain what a dependent is. A dependent is anyone that has a social security number attached to it. So that dependent could be your children. It could be an elderly person that you're taking care of. Now, your dependent, I know you love your dog. I know you love your goldfish. I know you love your cat. Those are not considered dependents, and you cannot claim that on your W-4 form on your taxes. So again, you will now count the number of dependents that you are claiming, and then you will put that number on the form beside letter D. Letter E, this is one that many people mess up, and you have to do a better job on this one, and I must prove to you why many people mess up. It says, enter 1 if you file head of household on your tax return. See conditions under head of household above. Many people, especially men, I'm gonna be real, most men feel like they are the head of the household. They feel like they run the kingdom, and I'm the man, I'm the one to pay all the bills. That does not mean nothing when it comes to this form. Head of household does not mean just because you're a man, you can qualify for head of household. So let's read the definition at the top of the form of what head of household is, because many people, I can't tell you how many people I sat down with and we went over this W-4 and they had it all wrong. So let's listen to what the definition of head of household is. Head of household, generally, You can claim head of household filing status on your tax return only if you are unmarried and pay more than 50% of the cost of keeping up a home for yourself and any qualifying individuals. So what does that mean? Number one, you got to be unmarried. So all you married people, especially you married men that think you can file head of household, I'm here to tell you this is the truth. It says you cannot file head of household unless you are unmarried, and it's two things, a conjunction, two things. You got to be unmarried and pay 50% of the cost of a dependent. So if you're paying 50% of the cost of a child or an elderly person, then you can put one beside head of household. If you are married, you should not have head of household on this W-4. You should not claim head of household if you are married. I'm going to say that again, especially the men. I want you the men to listen up. I know we feel like we're the king of our castle, but on this form here, that is null and void. You have to be unmarried and pay 50% of the cost of a dependent or a qualifying individual, such as an elderly person that's living with you. So let's go to letter F. Enter 1 if you have at least $2,000 of child care expenses for which you plan to accredit. No, this does not count when you pay child support. No, you cannot. I know you feel like, oh, I pay more than $2,000 in child support. No, this is asking about child or dependent care expenses. For example, if your child goes to daycare and you pay more than $2,000 a year, which I know you do because in most cases, daycare can run $100 to $150 to $200 a week. So you multiply that times 12, you way over the $2,000 limit. So if you pay more than $2,000 in childcare expenses, you will put 1 for letter F. G, child tax credit. See publication 972. So let's look what G says. It says if your total income will be less than $70,000 if you're single, or less than $100,000 if married, enter 2 for each eligible child. So for example, let's say you made $80,000 and you're a married couple. Well, and you have one child. It says you can enter 2 for that child. So instead of putting 1, it says enter 2 for each eligible child. Then it goes a little further. It says enter 2 for each eligible child, then less 1 if you have 2 to 4 eligible children, or less 2 if you have 5 or more eligible children. So depending on how many children you have, and to qualify for the child care expense, I was reading the other day, it says you have to be at least 16 or younger to be able to be qualified for the child care, child tax credit. I'm sorry, child tax credit. The second option, if your total income will be between $70,000 and $84,000 if single, or $100,000 to $119,000 if married, enter 1 for each eligible child. So you would have to decide, I don't know what your income is. You have to see what income bracket you fall under and then follow the directions on letter G. Letter H says add lines A through G and enter the total here. So this is where you're going to add all the numbers you got from letters A through G and put the total on letter H. There's something very important on letter H. There's something that right beside it. It says note in bold letters. This number on letter H may be different from the number of exemptions you claim on your tax return. So this is proving to you that this number is going to be different than the number of exemptions that you're going to file on your tax return. So this does not mirror how many people you have in your household. This is proving it to you right here on letter H. When you look at the form after looking at the video, it's telling you in note in bold letters. This may be different from the number of exemptions you plan to claim on your tax return. Again, letter H, add everything up from A through G and put the total here. Now, most people don't realize, but there's 2 sides to the W-4. Most of the time, the human resources only give you one side of the W-4, or they ask you to give them a number, and you give them a number, and then turn it in. But there's 2 sides to a W-4. The second side is called the Deductions and Adjustment Worksheet. The Deductions and Adjustment Worksheet. This is really, really powerful because this gives you additional allowances that can actually give you more money in your paycheck. You already adjusted the front of the form, so I'm going to briefly go over the back of the form. Again, make sure that you get a copy of the W-4. So when you look at the video, the replay, you can kind of follow along with me so that you can get your W-4 filled out so that you can have more money. Do not wait till 2017 to do your W-4 to say, oh, I'm going to start my new year all right. I'm just going to wait till January. No, do it now. I'm telling you, procrastination has hurt a lot of people. And if you're going to say, I'll wait till January, next thing you know, something comes up in January, then you go into February, March. No, get your W-4, irs.gov, fill it out after looking at this video, and get your money now. Do not procrastinate. Do not wait another second. You've been waiting too long anyway. You lost thousands of dollars already, so it's time to start claiming that money back. So let me go over the backside briefly. And again, I understand you cannot see this form, unfortunately, but look at the replay, grab a copy of the W-4 at irs.gov, and then follow along with me. So now let's go with number one. It says, enter an estimate of your 2016 itemized deductions. These include qualifying home mortgage interest, charitable contributions, state and local taxes, medical expenses in excess of 10%, 7.5% if either you or your spouse was born before January 2nd, 1952 of your income, and miscellaneous deductions. For 2016, you may have to reduce your itemized deductions if your income is over $311,300 and you are married filing jointly or you're qualifying widower $285,000 if you are head of household $259,000 if you're single and not head of household or qualifying widower $155,000 and if you're married filing separately, see publication 505 for details. I know I read a lot of stuff there, but again, look at the replay, look at the copy of the W-4 so you can follow along with me. This is asking for your Schedule A deductions. This is the part where it's best if you had your taxes from last year so you can kind of see what numbers your tax preparer did, or if you did your own taxes, what number you put there. So for my example, I'm just going to put 0 because I don't have the taxes in front of me. So I'm just going to put 0 for now, for this example. Number 2, it says enter $12,600 if married, $9,300 if head of household, or $6,300 if single or married or filing separately. So whatever your situation is, whatever it is, you take that number and put it on line 2. So for my example, I just put single, $6,300. Number 3, subtract 2 from 1. If 0 or less, enter 0. Well, $6,300 from 0 is 0, so I put on number 3, I put 0. Number 4, enter an estimate of your 2016 adjustments to income and any additional standard deductions. See publication 505. So everyone that's a business owner that's on this call, whether it's my econ, my favorite business, of course, or anyone else that's on the video right now in another network marketing company, this is where you can now add up your estimate of deductions that you claim, that you're planning to claim, such as your miles, eating out, your cell phone, your internet, travel, your monthly fee in your business. This is where you can give an estimate of the total, and you will put that number here. For my example, I'm going to just put 4,050. Very moderate number, 4,050 for number 4. Number 5 says add lines 3 and 4 and enter the total. So 4,050 plus 0 is 4,050. So I will put 4,050 again on line number 5. Number 6, enter an estimate of your 2016 non-wage income, such as dividends or interest. So if you're receiving dividends or interest, you will put that number here. But for my example, I just put 0 because I don't have nothing in front of me right now. Number 7, subtract 6 from 5. When you subtract 0 from 4,050, the answer is 4,050. So on line 7, I will put 4,050. Line 8 says divide the amount on line 7, which is 4,050, by 4,050. That's the reason I put 4,050 in my example, to make my math easier. So 4,050 divided by 4,050 is 1. So I will put 1 on letter 8. Number 9 says enter the number from the personal allowance sheet from worksheet 8, from on line H on the first side. So whatever the number you got on letter H, you will put that number on number 9, and then number 10 is asking you to add 8 and 9 and enter the total here. So once you get that total, you would then go back to the front of the W-4, and where it says employees withholding allowance certificate, you would first of all fill out number 1, which is your name and your last name. Number 2, your social security number. 3, you will check if you're single or married. 4, if your last name differs from the one shown above, you must call this particular number here. And number 5 is what's the important one, total number allowance you are claiming. So you add from the front and from the back and put that number on line number 5. Number 6 and number 7, just leave that blank. Turn this into your human resource office, and you can see immediate pay raise on your paycheck on your job. Be sure to ask your tax preparer. I'm not a tax preparer. I'm just giving you education so that you can properly adjust your W-4. But if you feel comfortable, be sure to ask your tax preparer, your accountant, so that you can get your W-4 filled out correctly, so that you can get that pay raise, so you can start paying off your debt or start putting that money towards investing. See, you want to get in a position where your money works for you instead of you working for the money. So by having that additional money coming into your household through your paycheck, you can now start eliminating that debt, which frees up cash flow. You can start putting that money into your investments, which increases and improves your current income, and now you're on your way to build wealth. So again, this is what we do in My Econ. This is the first thing. This is what makes us one of the best network marketing companies to get involved in, because this step alone puts money in your pocket, and you didn't have to sell or recruit a single person to get this money. That's immediate money. Any time you get in any other companies, most cases, I'm not going to say all, because I haven't seen all. There's a million network marketing companies out here. But in most companies, in order for you to see some income coming in, you got to recruit or sell. This right here, you didn't have to recruit nobody. You didn't have to sell anybody anything. This is your money that we show you how to get back. And it helps you, 1, eliminate your debt. 2, put more money into your investment portfolio. And 3, if you are part of a network marketing company, it covers your monthly fee if you have one. Some network marketing companies don't have a monthly fee, but a lot of us, we do have a monthly fee. This covers the cost of your monthly fee, which makes your business free. So again, look at the replay of this video. Get your W-4 filled out now, not 2017. I'm gonna start off in the year right now. Start the year off right now. Do it now. Get that pay raise. Start putting that money towards your investments. Start eliminating debt so that 2017 can be one of the best years ever. I appreciate you all's time. I look forward to seeing you at the top and not from the top. God bless you.